Welcome to episode 12 of What's the Buzz podcast. Podcast that keeps you informed and entertained on all things pest control. I'm Jordan.
I'm Shawn.
And together we're here to buzz through the world of pests, big and small, from the latest in pest management techniques to the fascinating facts about the critters we all love to hate. We've got the insights you need. It's another week, and we're here once again to share our expert advice, real-life stories, and practical tips to help you keep your home pest free. So sit back, relax, get ready to discover what's really buzzing in the world. I'm just nailing it these days.
You nailed it.
Pretty close, anyways.
Pretty close. I'm impressed. But
Give me some constructive criticism.
Let's try to memorize that.
Yeah.
Where you don't have to look at your.
I almost had it, but
I think you could do it.
I probably can. But
I think
by the end of spooky season,
so,
maybe I will have it memorized.
Everybody keeps telling me that usually podcasts kind of die out episode 10. If you get past episode 10, they're going to keep going. We're in episode 12, so the future's looking bright over
This
here.
is the commitment, I guess, huh?
I guess so.
It's like a marriage.
You gotta keep it rolling. We haven't missed a week in a while, so we're doing well. We got behind there at the beginning.
We're getting consistent.
Let's recap a little bit from last episode.
Yeah.
We did on proper identification, the importance of proper identification, why we ask our clients to save a specimen or send in pictures. And really, it involves, our treatments for various pests, how different species of different pests have different harbor areas, and a lot that goes into it.
Yeah. So, and us being more efficient so we can get in and out quicker for our clients. That way it's less disruptive for them.
Absolutely.
I guess that would be the highlight, right?
That would be the highlight of that.
So you're saying we could have covered that within 3 seconds?
I mean,
the last
a little bit more detail. Our main topic today is going to be spiders and spooky season. It is October 2nd.
It is.
It doesn't feel like October 2nd.
Still kind of warm.
It's still kind of warm outside, but we got the Halloween decorations up at the house.
Did you?
Yeah. You got yours up?
Not yet.
What are you waiting on?
Well, our house is on the market, so it has to be pretty. So,
well, I'm sure they would understand.
Maybe.
Halloween is just around the corner. Fall's it's officially fall, even though it doesn't feel like it. We've talked about, the fall time pests and wildlife stuff. So we're kind of just going to focus a little bit on spiders. Some of the main spiders we see around Southwest Missouri,
right,
this time of year.
Yeah.
And so
Missouri has 2 venomous spiders and only 2, correct?
Absolutely.
Anything additional to add to
that? Yeah. So those are the 2 quote dangerous spiders. Your black widow, your brown recluse.
Yeah.
We are going to cover the 5 top spiders commonly found throughout Southwest Missouri here. And we'll just lead right into it. How about that?
Good.
Black widow spider number 1. So most of the time, right here, they're located outside.
Yes.
Around doors, entryways, windows, underneath patio or porches. They do occasionally come inside. We've seen them, but they're usually by an exterior door. So, I just did a walkthrough at a commercial building today where they had one in the stairwell by an exterior door. So they do come inside. They're not gonna be far from an entryway.
Right. Not aggressive. I mean, for the most part, they like to stay in kind of their area. Mm-hmm. Really hot, dry climates is kind of what they're shooting for.
Yeah. You see them a lot too. Maybe some crawl spaces, mm-hmm. dark basements. They like dark areas, wood piles, sheds.
Wood piles especially, yeah.
Yeah.
Where the sun shines.
And
right on it.
Their egg sacs are pretty distinctive as well.
Yeah. I mean, we've been doing this for a long time, and if you ever are going around the exterior and you see a certain web, mm-hmm. their web differs a little bit. They're not great web builders as far as, the pretty web spinning spiders.
You definitely know it's a black widow.
Yeah, super thick and tacky. So
and yeah, so I don't know how to describe that without showing a picture. I'll probably put a picture up for our listeners here.
Like that.
Yeah, they prefer dark areas. They like corners. Cluttered areas, behind furniture, especially like patio furniture,
mm-hmm.
Outside.
So treatment for those, they're basically exterior spiders, so we're going to handle those as such and start on the outside with those treatments. Of course, if it's on the inside, we're going to do an interior application. But most of the time, black widow populations can be controlled by exterior treatments.
Sorry, I had to tickle my throat.
That's all right.
Get a drink of water here.
Which can lead us to the next one. So we really only have 2 interior spiders for the most part, possibly 3, I guess. Most of your spiders around here are going to be exterior occurring. Mm-hmm. So the next one is an interior spider, which would be the brown recluse spider, which we get probably the most calls on here in Missouri, at least in the southwest Missouri portion.
They do stem from the outside, so it's not impossible to see them outside.
Sure.
But they do get their name, brown recluse. They don't like being around people or other animals. So attics are big, crawl spaces. The exterior walls on any structure is a lot of times it's like a highway, what I like to refer to it as, going from foundation to attic space, above drop ceilings in commercial buildings. Like we have a drop ceiling in here, it'd be prime location for brown recluse.
Yeah.
And they, like I said, they can be found outside. They prefer it. So the reason they're a spooky time type of pest. So there are 2 times out of the year where you see them the most. One is in the summertime here when it gets hot, mm-hmm. and they start trying to move down from the attic, down from the crawl spaces to a cooler environment. And then in the fall it's their breeding their season. So they're looking for a mate and looking to reproduce.
What's that love?
Look, he's bringing the heat.
Yeah, but and like you said, so they can originate outside, but the reason they reproduce really quickly on the inside, and that's where the infestations, are most mm-hmm. normally found that way.
So, and they love cardboard. They like sacks of cardboard. Cardboard boxes, especially cardboard boxes that might be in the attic. And there's a lot of cardboard boxes in a lot of attics.
Yeah.
I don't know if there is possible to have one structure in Southwest Missouri that doesn't have at least one brown recluse.
Right. And we're right in the middle of their heaviest area of where they're located.
More interior living space type areas, your closets, like your coat closets, mm-hmm. That don't get used a lot throughout the year. Mm-hmm. Those are prime locations for brown recluse spiders.
Yeah.
Most people get bit by a brown recluse spider when they grab that coat out from the closet the first time of the year, or a sweater, and they don't shake it out, or they, stuff their arms in and there's a brown recluse spider inside.
Right. So black widows are not really aggressive. They're, mm-hmm. like you said, you stick your arm, maybe you roll over on one in bed if you have high numbers of them. You put your foot in a shoe that's been sitting in the closet for a mm-hmm. while, and there's one in there. More often than not, you're going to get the bites that way.
Yeah.
So,
and our treatment around brown recluse, we have customers on Sex Shield that have a plus brown recluse service, so they get an extra interior treatment mm-hmm. Every year.
Yeah.
We go in the attic. Obviously, we're using products specifically formulated for targeting brown recluse. We'll flush boxes out and stuff while we're up there as well. Mm-hmm. But we also treat the wall voids as well with the same product.
Right. So the biology and habits of brown recluse are a lot different than most spiders. So most spiders will groom themselves like a cat. Mm-hmm. We call them the dirty spiders because they do not do that. So getting product...
Dirty spiders.
The dirty spider.
Dirty spider.
But getting that product into their system's a little bit different. So we have to be a little bit more aggressive and mm-hmm. use a little bit different treatment protocol than we would with exterior spiders or any other kind of spider, really.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Absolutely. How can you identify the brown recluse spider for our listeners here?
Brown recluse are also called fiddlebacks.
Ooh, fiddlebacks.
So with that, they do have a pretty distinct marking on their cephalothorax.
Yeah.
Close.
I mean, yeah.
With that, I mean, it's pretty obviously a violin shape, mm-hmm. and it's pretty consistent throughout. So.
Brown recluse do get misidentified a lot with cellar spiders or with hobo spiders or wolf spiders mm-hmm. even too.
Grass spiders. Mm-hmm. There are several that resemble brown recluse, but brown recluse are the the venomous ones.
If you ever want a proper identification instead of using Google Lens, you can always text it into our office and we'll give you a professional expert identification.
Expert, huh?
We're experts.
We'll do it.
Number 3, wolf spider.
Oh,
Spooky season, so you never know, man.
that's right.
Yeah. A lot of times wolf spiders get misidentified as tarantulas.
They do.
Wolf spiders can get pretty big.
Yeah.
They're big, hairy looking spiders.
It's one I saw in the crawl space.
Did you?
The size of a softball.
The size of a softball. Did you guys hear that? He just made that up.
No, I did.
So they're generally on the ground, right?
Yeah.
So,
oftentimes what you'll see with wolf spiders, so they are aggressive by nature, so they will chase prey, and that's oftentimes how they'll get into the home. So
absolutely,
they don't really want to be in your house, but oftentimes they'll chase something in. That's how you find
and
them.
they don't really thrive well indoors either. There's not, a lot of food source most of the time in your house for them.
Yeah.
But they, you can find them in your gardens. If you got a deer stand, tree stand in the woods, it's hunting season almost, right?
It is hunting season right now. It's bow season.
Yeah, bow season. So, they're hunting for food all the time.
Yeah, they are. Like I said, they'll follow just about anything. Small insects, mainly. We don't have any like trapdoor spiders like they do in some places where they just hang out and wait for stuff to come by. No, those look like tarantulas. Those things are huge.
They're pretty big.
But they will follow stuff. If you go that way.
Under rocks, under logs, it's kind of their prime habitat. This time of year, we will see them start to come in, chasing their prey, or, as the weather starts to get cooler here, like this morning, it was fairly cool. It was in the 40s when I left the house this morning, and then warmed up to a toasty 85 degrees. But, they're going to be looking for warmer shelter too as the month goes along and the season goes along. Your
crawl space is probably the most frequent area you'll see those. Or, lake home too, because they're pretty reclusive. They don't like people much. So they like to hide in areas where they're not disturbed very often. So, and spiders in general are pretty solitary. They're by themselves most of the time. So seeing where people aren't.
Yeah.
So,
4, the common house spider.
Common.
Common, not common.
Kamikaze.
Is that a rapper?
I don't know. It should be if it's not.
Okay. Common or comma?
Common house spider. Tell us about the common house spider.
Well, they're pretty adaptable spiders. They can find indoors, outdoors, warm, humid areas. And so typically if it's not one of the 3 spiders that we've mentioned or the cellar spider that we'll talk about next, it's just a common house spider most of the time. And we don't, that can be broken down a little bit more detail of subspecies, but for general treatment purposes, it's common house spider.
Yeah.
So
when I think of a common house spider, I think of the kind of resembles a black widow, multicolored bulbous rump.
Bulbous. I like that word.
Bulbous rump. I've actually got an experiment going right now. So we have one in our outside of our window in our bathroom, and it's been living there for, 6 months, 8 months. I've just been leaving it to see what happens with it. And it occasionally will catch something, spin a web around it, feed on it, go on about its business. So, but like you said, they're adaptable. They can be pretty much anywhere.
Yes, they can.
So, which brings us to our final spider.
Cellar spider, or as some people might refer them to,
daddy longlegs.
Daddy longlegs.
The true daddy longlegs. Not to get confused with the harvestman, which most people think are actual daddy longlegs. Cellar spiders are interior spiders, and that's pretty much the only place you'll find them. They're web makers that make terrible cobwebs throughout your house, and we really don't treat the exterior for those. We have to go after those on the inside.
Which we've discussed this before, just kind of tips around the house to keep spiders out. So making sure all the cracks and crevices are sealed. You got good door sweeps on the bottom of your doors. Everything's tight. Big thing is just the crack and crevices and making sure everything's sealed up. Crawl space doors, if your attic access is from the outside, making sure that that's sealed up. Just making sure basically you're, proofing everything, all your entryways.
If there's ever a time you want to do exclusion, it's right this very moment.
Absolutely.
When we get those cool mornings in the 40s, that's when they're really starting to try to make their way inside and stay warm. So work on that.
Work on that. All right. So, yeah, just regular cleaning too. Outdoor maintenance.
Yeah.
So
declutter.
Make sure the vegetation's trimmed down.
Yeah, we don't want any pest highways.
I'm crossing my fingers and hoping in my house this last round we just did is probably the final mowing, trimming. But, we live in Southwest Missouri, and I don't know what's going to happen. But
yeah, the grass went fully brown, and then it rained, and now it's green and growing again. So we'll likely be still mowing, but we can be optimistic.
You never know. You never know. So, let's move on here. We covered the 5 main spiders that we see in Southwest Missouri. And for those of you that are watching and not just listening, I'll have pictures of those 5 individual spiders, maybe even some of their webs if you're lucky.
Wow.
Pop up so you can.
Really blessing everyone that's listening and watching.
But we got customer questions.
Do we?
Yeah. Well, Kayla from Joplin sent in quite a few.
Okay.
So I'm going to pick 3 questions here. And we're going to answer those here on the episode.
All right.
Okay. Since it is October, and we are talking about spiders, why do spiders seem to appear more frequently around Halloween?
Well, I think we touched on it a little bit just right there. I don't know that we're probably just noticing them more because they're starting to make their way inside with the cooler temperatures in the morning. So I think it's probably more of they're invading our space a little bit more. So we're seeing them. Do you add to that?
I mean, just time of the year and the season changing, really.
Yeah.
Breeding seasons, all that good stuff.
Yeah.
How do pest control treatments keep spiders away, especially during fall? So there's a variety of things that we do each service.
Yeah.
Part of our fall rotation on Insect Shield clients, residentially, one, we're doing web removal, right? Treatments around exterior details, so your doors and windows, or dust applications and cracks and crevices around the outside of the home. We're still doing the power spray and 10-foot band around the home as well, creating that barrier. Right. And that's what we want to target pests on the outside before they get inside your home. Right.
So we've talked about the difference in repellency and non-repellency. With spiders, we definitely want to repel because they're not social. So that barrier helps out tremendously.
Yeah, there's not one blanket product that we use. So everything we use is tailored to the specific pest, specific environment, and that's where your professional pest control companies come in to eliminate it quickly for you.
Right. So our spider treatments really started 2 months ago because we're hitting everything that is about to come with the season.
Absolutely. So, and our treatments keep working after we're gone.
That's right. They sure do.
Last one. I'm going to pick here we go. Which pest, Jordan, would make the best Halloween villain? Spiders, rats, snakes, or roaches? Halloween villain.
Personal. Man, I'm trying to think. Personal versus the masses.
For me, it'd be snakes, man.
You're scared
every
of snakes,
time.
aren't you?
I'm not super scared of snakes. I just don't like them. They're just creepy.
Just a little slithery.
They're just creepy.
Villain. Man, well, Spider-Man's obviously a good guy. So that's already kind of been done. So maybe a rat. I think a rat.
Like a Halloween villain rat?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Like Ratatouille, but mean.
How about Splinter from the Ninja Turtles?
Or Splinter, except
like an evil Splinter.
Yeah.
That's where we're going with that. Evil Splinter.
Evil Splinter that's a little bit younger and not so decrepit.
Oh, that's great.
That sound good?
That sounds fantastic. Fantastic. So thanks, Kayla, for sending. Actually, we got about 67 questions from Kayla. But we'll only answer 3 of those today.
Yeah.
5-star review of the day.
Let's do it.
You ready? We have, this is 8 hours ago. This is fresh.
Wow.
Fresh off the press. Ginger, 5 stars, 8 hours ago. Bug Zero staff are polite, work with my schedule, and answer any questions or concerns I might have. I highly recommend their services.
Excellent.
Thank you for the awesome review, Ginger. I use Google reviews a lot. Right now, we have 832 Google reviews with a 4.9 rating. And that's actually quite an accomplishment. If you look at Google, you look at our Facebook following. For a local pest control company, we have 6.9 thousand Facebook likes follower.
Yeah.
And then on top of the Google reviews, that's pretty impressive.
That's close to what this podcast page has, huh?
I mean, we're
likes.
creeping up there. I don't know how close it is, but we'll figure it out.
Okay. Fair enough.
Which brings me to another point. If all of our listeners want to share this absolutely amazing podcast with great information with your friends and family, you should, by all means.
It's extremely informative, if nothing else. So
I don't know. You're a pretty funny guy too.
Yeah.
Your jokes.
I don't think so.
You didn't have any jokes today? Couldn't think of any?
I guess I can try.
Well, I mean, if you got, I don't know.
Yeah, no, we're gonna save it for next time.
You're gonna say, which speaking about the reviews, I'm getting that drink here. The Springfield News Leader has an annual community awards contest for the Ozarks. I was on there today. Bug Zero won first place in the Best Pest Control Company division.
Well, all right.
So thanks to you guys for going there and casting your votes for Bug Zero.
Yeah, we appreciate that.
Absolutely. We have no guests today.
We have no guests, but I do have a couple questions for you since it is spooky season and we're going into that.
On the spot. I like it.
So your kids are older.
Yeah.
And, teenagers, and my kids are young.
Mm-hmm.
I'm curious what the difference is for your Halloween versus my Halloween. So what is your plan for Halloween?
So we, at this point, just pass out candy.
Okay.
We'll put on Halloween movies. I'm a big Halloween Michael Myers fan. And so I guess officially at my house, it was Halloween last night because when I got home, my wife was watching Hocus Pocus and had all the Halloween decorations out and the Halloween lights. And she said, "It's Halloween." I said, "Okay.
It's time."
So I like the horror movie, especially the old horror movie, marathons. And so usually we'll put the Halloween movies on TV and pass the candy out till it's all gone. Our kids, sometimes they'll go out with friends. Sometimes they'll just stick it out at home.
Gotcha.
So,
cool.
A little bit different than your Halloween because we used to take the kids out trick-or-treating and to trunk or treats and to the zoo for spooktacular and all kinds of crazy stuff.
It's crazy how much has changed even from when I was a kid because we used to just go door to door, find on the map the rich neighborhood. You go over there and hopefully you get a couple full-size
candy bars.
But now, I mean, it's so much trunk or treat. So there's a lot of that. My son in particular does not necessarily like going up to doors. So we've done the Hammond's Field. They normally have a trunk or treat where you get to go on the field, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
A lot of local businesses out there handing out candy. So that's cool. So normally we do a trunk or treat and pumpkin carving for him.
Pumpkin carving.
Yeah. So I think last year we cut the top off and I had to do the rest. But
that was it. You a big fan of the sticking your hand in there and getting all the goop out?
I wouldn't say I'm a big fan of it, but you have to do what you got to do. So
I started using my jigsaw for.
That's smart
for carving pumpkins.
Yeah, I saw someone the other day use like cookie cutters. I was like, that's brilliant, especially for kids. So
there's a couple years when my kids were younger where they just painted them instead of carving them.
Yeah, I think maybe we did that last year.
Did you?
Yeah,
it's less messy.
It is. These years are starting to run together with kids that are young though. So
yeah.
Anyway,
you carved pumpkins yet?
No, not yet.
Okay,
we haven't got those.
Is it on the agenda?
It's on the agenda. It's such a. You have to go and pick out the pumpkin, and that process is not easy for an almost 5-year-old. So it takes a little bit of time, and we've got to have that time. And right now we don't. So we'll be coming up on it pretty quick.
Which brings me to my next note. If you guys are in the market for a new home, yours just came on the market, right?
It did. Yeah, so we just put it on the market today. So
trying to get a little bit of country in our lives here soon. So
Get out of the subdivision and into the country
on a little bit of property. So listen to Cody Johnson's Dirt Cheap one time, and you want to buy a ranch. So
I'll take a ranch. Yeah, if you got one.
I'm gonna have like a 3 to 7 acre ranch, and it's gonna say Hicks's Ranch.
3 to 7 acre ranch.
Yeah, and there'll probably be like 1 cow on it. So
man, that whatever floats your boat,
it'll work.
But
So,
that's really all we got for today.
Yeah.
Thanks for listening. We're gonna bring some more fire next episode. I know you're big on bringing the heat, so I try to throw that out there as much as possible on social media.
that's my favorite thing that we do.
I know,
is bring heat.
Bringing the heat, bringing knowledge, delivering value, highlight local business. I do have some guests some people that have reached out and want to be guests on the episode too. So we'll try to get them on.
Perfect.
But yeah, fall's here, and spider mouse season right around the corner.
Spooky season, baby.
Spooky season. But thanks guys for listening. And once again, I'm Shawn.
And I'm Jordan.
And we're just trying to deliver value and give you guys something good to listen to. So,
That's right.
Thanks for listening. And if you have any questions, be sure to send an email to sales@bugzero.com or hop on our social media pages and ask questions there, and we'll get them answered for you.
Absolutely.
So, thanks, guys.
Yep. See you next time.
Who knocked?
Creepy crawlers invading your home? Bug Zero. Spiders, ants, and flies? Oh my. Bug Zero. Bed bugs and mosquitoes leave you itchy for help? Bug Zero. Whether it's bugs in your home or bugs eating your home, Bug Zero has you protected. With both residential and commercial services, Bug Zero's comprehensive pest protection takes you from infestation to extermination.